Hey everybody, so today we're just going to be running a horrific vision of Stormwind and just talking about what the different packs do, and yeah, just gonna go over some tips of how to get your Mad World achievement, or at least the horrific vision of Stormwind part of it. So without further ado, let us begin. The first thing I want to mention is that I'm using the Purification Protocol essence. Now this essence is so strong in horrific visions. Basically everything in there is an aberration, or at least a lot of the things in there are aberrations, so this essence will do a ton of extra damage to those mobs. It has a chance to just insta-kill mobs as well, and it'll stun any aberrations in the pack. It's also really awesome because this essence, unlike the essence of the Focusing Iris, is only a minute cooldown, so you can literally use it all the time. So yeah, if you don't have the Purification Protocol, you can totally use Essence of Focusing Iris if you feel like you don't have enough AoE on your own, though I definitely recommend the Purification Protocol if you have it. And Conflict and Strife, because even though I don't have the rank 3 of this essence, it's really strong if you happen to mess up and get CC'd, because it'll give you a bunch of versatility and you'll be less likely to die in that moment. Alright, so we're also going to use some consumables here. We're going to use this one, the Ghastly Goulash, which I already have running, but I'm just going to go ahead and use it again for the sake of the video. We have cat aggro here. Okay, so we're going to use the Ghastly Goulash, and then we're also going to use a flask, because why not set yourself up for the most amount of success that you can, right? On top of that, I also have with me some Potions of Unbridled Fury to use on the big mobs, like the bosses or mini bosses, if I feel like I need some extra help with those. And I also have Potions of Empowered Proximity, just in case I want to do a really big pull, or if I accidentally do a really big pull and just need some extra stats to get me through. You can also use a Battle Scarred Augment Rune if you want to. I don't really think it makes that big of a difference. Yeah. So now we're going to put on all the masks. The first mask is the Faceless Mask of the Pained. And what this mask does is that it'll make it so that the affixes that you have in each area, it'll make it so that you have 2 instead of 1. So instead of just having Leaden Foot, for example, you might have Leaden Foot and the circle that fears you. The next mask is the Burnt Bridge, and this mask isn't very difficult. It basically just makes it so that you have a snail trail of like poop behind you, and if you stand in it, you'll take some sanity damage. It can be really annoying if you have like multiple people in your group and you're all putting it everywhere, but it doesn't do that much damage, and you can run through it without taking any damage, any sanity damage. It's just kind of if you're in it for a prolonged period of time. This one, the Faceless Mask of the Long Night, is the most difficult of the 5 masks. This one makes it so that you have 500 sanity instead of 1,000. If you see here right now I have 1,150 sanity, but once I put this on, it's only 575. So if you're ever doing like 4 mask carries or just starting out on 4 masks, that's the one that I would definitely recommend leaving off. The Faceless Mask of the Daredevil is another one that affects your sanity, and what this one does is it makes it so that if you do get hit by any of the mechanics that drain sanity, you'll take 400% increased sanity damage, which is a lot when your sanity is only 575. But an important thing to remember about it is that it does not increase the sanity damage you take from things like Burned Bridge or anything from the masks. It's just from like mobs and enemies. And last but not least, we have Faceless Mask of the Dark Imagination. Now what this one does, it's actually my favorite. It spawns a little noodle-faced friend mob who comes and tries to kill you. But he's really great because he's not scary, he's really squishy, and you just kind of blow him up, and he has a chance to give you the Gift of the Titans buff. So this mask is just not that big a deal at all. But just be aware that you might start spawning a random mob on yourself if you are low sanity, which is when he'll start spawning. So if you're really low sanity and you're thinking of dropping an orb soon, you might want to do it sooner than later. because you might spawn a mob, putting you in combat, and, you know, making it so you can't warp. Alright, when you have all your masks on, I always check that I have my food, have my flask, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faceless masks, and then we can begin. Alright, so I like to use a small mount like Xin Lao in the visions because he fits right through doorways. So you actually can move significantly faster. So what I like to do first is just pull to this guy here and start by putting my little purification protocol on them. And then just start wailing on them. Nice. Ooh, I hate that. Desynchronized. So here we see the blue is the potion that's over there. And that means that that potion is the poison. So you just want to click it over here on this add-on. So now it's listed as poison, and you can see that purple is going to be our sanity potion. So we can keep our eye out for those. So next I like to come over here and kill these boys. And as you can see, there's also an odd crystal over there. So I'm done killing these guys. We'll go get that. You can dispel that buff off of him if you don't have an interrupt for it. And you have a purge. Alright, guards down. Let's grab this crystal. And I have handy notes that shows me the locations of all the crystals. So we'll be checking all of them and trying to get all 10. But if you feel like you don't have time and you're just starting out with 5 masks, just don't worry about it. They just give you extra corrupted mementos. And if you're just trying to finish your 5 mask and get your achievement and it's tough for you, don't add the extra stress. Let's get both of these chests. We're always looking for purple potions. That's a black potion. Let's get these guys. Probably shouldn't have interrupted that, but what can you do? Now we're desynchronized really slow. So we're gonna really slowly run over here, over the bridge. Let's see. Kill these dudes. And you do have to kill these dudes. If you don't kill them, the gate will not be... You'll be able to open the gate and go into the next area, but you won't see any of the bombs. So you'll have to go back and kill them anyway. So you just need to, in this area, set these bombs, as I'm sure you know. Alright, so next I like to pull to here, and I like to use a defensive. Just a little one. And the reason that I pull this big pull is because there aren't any dangerous mobs in those 2 packs. So you can really pull them without worry as long as you have enough damage and enough health to deal with them all autoing you. But they're not going to CC you or anything, so it's just... I like to just get them all out of the way. For the same reason, I like to pull this next pack also all at once, and I like to pull them over to here, and I use another defensive. Blow them up. Get this bomb over here. Sometimes there's a crystal right behind here, so you always want to make sure to check. And I see that we also have a sanity potion back there, but I'm going to hold on to it because we're going to fight this dude and he gives sanity back. So let's just get him now. If you feel really brave, you can pull all these guys at once. But you don't have to. You have plenty of time in the vision not to do big pulls. You really just don't need to worry about it at all. The most helpful thing for me when I was trying to do my 5 masks was realizing that as long as you don't accidentally blow your cheat death and just be really careful, you really have plenty of sanity to do the whole thing, and you can really take your time. Like, you want to keep moving, obviously, because you don't want to get yourself into a spot where you're like stressed out and having to go really fast, but You really don't need to do big pulls, and you really don't need to take risks. Especially if you're keeping your eye out for potions. This is another pack where there just isn't really anything dangerous. And as you can see, this guy is immediately stunned. And that's because he's an aberration. So my essence just totally messes him up. Jump. Nice. And also, one thing to realize is that if you do mess up and you do get CC'd or anything, just don't panic, because you'll be fine. Most likely. I mean, sometimes you won't. There's definitely some things that'll just outright destroy you in this, in the horrific visions, but like most of the time, you'll be okay. Especially now with the Leaden Foot nerfs, and with the nerf to the Evil Sea, as I like to call it. I like to check over here. I thought there was a crystal or a chest potentially over here, but it is not. So the last crystal in that case, what's aggroing me? Oh, it's this guy. All right. Let's get this chest. And there's the last crystal from this area over here. So in each area there's 2 crystals. So if you found 2 crystals, make sure that you don't spend time looking for more, because there's only 2 in each area. And there's only a few spawn spots. So if it looks like a crystal is not in its spot, it's probably not in its spot, and you can usually use just process of elimination to figure out where it is. So going around this way, when you're going from the Dwarven District to the Matthias Shaw area, is a lot faster because you don't have to deal with one of those icky ice stock mobs that's over here. Those things are a lot more dangerous than those rats, because the rats just get melted. Oops. Oh, I should probably have mentioned that there's always 2 invisible mobs here. And if you're smart, you can use like an AoE spell or a flare or spectral sight or one of those kinds of things to make sure that you oh, this is bad. Woo! That was really unlucky. It's okay though. And that's the thing, like sometimes it's just, you're gonna have a mistake and it's not gonna go well. You just have to realize that it'll be fine. Just keep killing them and you'll be fine. You know, as long as you keep an eye on your sanity and make sure that you're not going into any dangerous fight. Like that fight is pretty dangerous for me, I feel, with the Evil Sea mechanic going. I'm going to use a defensive here. There's an informant here, so I'm going to focus it. So the informants are super dangerous because they cast that spell that you just saw, Touch of the Abyss. And what Touch of the Abyss does is totally mess you up and CC you for a long ass time while you get wrecked by other mobs. So you really don't want it to go off. That's why this area is particularly dangerous. Like in this pack, we're about to come get these guys. There's 2 informants, so we gotta keep an eye on them. And if we see Touch of the Abyss being casted at any point, you have to be ready to stun. And you really need to watch both, because you're going to have to stun one and interrupt the other. Because if you get Touch of the Abyss, especially if you're on a squishier class, that could really spell the end of your run. It's a really dangerous spell. No crystal up here. Away we go. Ooh, another sanity potion. Lucky. Alright. Let's get these guys. Target the informant. Wait for evil C. And we're doing good on sanity. We've already, we've gotten so many sanity potions. So now we're gonna kill this guy. And he can actually be pretty dangerous, so definitely don't let your guard down on this guy. Ooh, and there's a crystal. Is that the last crystal we needed in this area? I don't think so. I think we've only gotten 0 in this area so far. Is this the area where they get? Ooh, there's a chest over there. Alright. Well, I'm going over there because I want the chest. Are there any informants in this area? There are. But now that the informant's dead, there's not really anything to worry about in this pack, so you just AoE him down, grab the chest. There also can be a crystal this way. I usually don't check over here because I'd rather if it was in a different place. I know that sounds really ridiculous. We'll check, we'll check. There it is. Good thing we checked. But here's one of those instances where, for example, if you'd already got both of the crystals, in this area, it would be a total waste of time to even go over here. Because there's just literally no other reason to come over here and kill all those mobs. Alright. Get on our Shin Lao. And you'll see some examples of why a tiny mount is best as soon as we get to the Mage District. So target the informant. Nice. So then you want to head over to this. You need to click it at the same time as Valera, or if you're doing it with a friend, you need to click it at the same time as your friend. And so we're gonna come in here. I'm getting evil C. Probably gonna wait for that. Alright. So he'll always be right on top of there. I like to orb before him, just because you can get frantic and accidentally take way too much damage in this area, and I have 3 orbs, I should use them. So I'm gonna use Spectral Sight. There he is. Pre-pot, and let's fall. And what you need to do in this area is just make sure that you're not looking at the eye. So that blue swirl, that's Matthias Shaw. And then he'll always just run back over to you. So you just be really patient. And you can really, it's kind of generous about when you can and can't hit him. Ooh, I must be standing in poop. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Walk over here. Wait for Matthias. There he is. And I like to do this top-down approach because it just makes it really easy to see where you're facing in relation to the eyeballs. And you can just kind of turn your character a little and just not really worry about it. So he's gone. I'm going to go over here, face this direction. Here he comes. And you just don't need to worry. Like, if you get hit a little bit, totally fine. Just don't face the eyes. Kill Matthias Shaw. He doesn't really do anything dangerous at all. So you really just need to be patient and not look at the eyes, and you'll have no problem. The only thing I would say is that when he does kind of disappear and turn into a purple swirly, you want to make sure that you move out of the swirly. But he'll come right back to where you are, so you don't need to worry about finding him and coming back to him. So this guy is going to give me a buff. As you can see, the door was open here. If the door is open, that means there's a buff to be had. He also gave me Gift of the Titans. Awesome. Check over here for the crystal. Not there. There's a chest, so we'll go grab that, and we'll check for that crystal too. Let's see. There it is. So now we've gotten both crystals in this area, since we got the first one while we were killing the guards, and we can head on to the next set of areas. So you don't need to kill these, you can just kind of run right over them. They don't keep you in combat. With this guy, make sure that you don't have any AoE going on when you get over to him, because if you accidentally pull him, he takes forever to kill if you don't kill him properly, and it'll just eat up all of your sanity and all of your time. Alright, so I don't go this way. I go left. Ooh, a chest. And a good thing to remember is that you don't need, to have a ton of sanity all the time. You really just need enough sanity to get to the next thing that gives you sanity. Because if you're doing a 5 mask, I assume you probably already have the elite extermination ability from your tree. Alright, so on this guy, you want to interrupt that. You won't be able to interrupt all of them, but while he's doing it, he'll always be draining sanity from you. So you want to interrupt as many as you can. And you want to interrupt him at the end of his cast. Jump. Nice. And he'll give you the sanity back, so it's not that big a deal that he drains your sanity. You just want to make sure that you're not going into it with super low sanity, so that taking 15 sanity ticking will kill you. And if you have less damage or a lower gear level, it'll take you longer to kill him. So you really need to factor that in when you're deciding if you have enough sanity to start. There's a purple potion. In that case, why don't we kill all the mobs first? So if this door is open, I like to kite all my mobs into here. And get this buff at the same time. I just kite him around this corner, line of sight. There is one dangerous mob in that pack who does a circle that'll do sanity damage to you, and I think stun you? I don't know, I haven't been hit by it for a while. It might stun you. It looks like a circle with a brown swirly in it. It's like a blade flourish type move. And you just need to make sure that you get out of it. And it'll always go on you, so once you kite the mobs to the corner, basically once they get there, and it's been 2 seconds, you just kind of want to scooch over to the other side like I did, to make sure that you don't get blade flourished. Oh my gosh, no! Stuck on boxes! The reason I'm running around and killing these guys is just because I have that sanity pot to drink. And I have to kill them all anyway to get all the cages, so I might as well do it now. I like to use my stun here. I missed one of the 10Ds, but I like to stun, Ooh, we almost found out what Blade Flourish did. Okay, so now, gonna fight our friend here. I feel like I have enough sanity, so we're just gonna go for it. Oh no, I forgot to drink the potion. I wonder if I can drink it during Chains of Servitude. Can we drink? Can we drink potions? So I recommend usually always running away from Chains of Servitude, but I felt pretty confident I could finish him before he finished the cast. So I just wailed on him. If you do get hit by that while you're right next to the boss, it can be pretty bad, because he'll stun you and you'll take a bunch of sanity damage. So, if you have any doubt that you'll be able to finish it, just run away. Run away and hide. Alright, let's save these civilians here. This is probably this is the creepiest. This is so much creepier than Agrimar, let's be real. Not only is it creepier in the ambience, I'm not sure how you say it. So not only is how it looks creepier, but it's much more dangerous and much scarier in that respect. Let's see. 7 of 8 captives rescued. Nice. So you always want to be sure that you've actually rescued all the captives, because I have definitely had it happen where I finished my 5 mask. Because that's actually before I had done Mad World. I finished a 5 mask and I was so pumped, and then I realized that I had forgotten 1 captive. Okay, so here, when you're going to the Mage District, you want to make sure that if you don't have a jump, you kill that eye, because those can be pretty dangerous and they'll keep you in combat. You can't just run past them. But you don't have to kill these pustules. But if you're someone with a jump, like a hunter or an outlaw rogue, a demon hunter, or any class of goblin with rocket jump, you can just jump right over that area. Oh no, this is bad. Alright, so what I like to do is run through here to right here and just fight everything right here. It can be a little annoying with Leadenfoot to get over there, but if you stay kind of in this area, you run the risk of more mobs running by and aggroing you. So next we fight this eye. The eyes can be pretty dangerous. They can do a lot of damage to you if they're able to channel their beam on you. You just want to focus the eye, kill it. You don't have to worry about those little, like, I don't know what to call them, pustule type things, because those don't keep you in combat, even if you attack them and then run away. But the eyes do. So this guy will give us sanity back. Wish he would come over here. We're gonna do this on him. Maybe that'll kill him. There we go. Alright. So if I can help it, I do not like to use my orb on that guy. He gives you sanity back, so you shouldn't have to. Alright, so on this pack, this guy casts a fear, and this guy casts something called Void Buffet. So you really want to interrupt both if at all possible. I do prioritize Void Buffet, though, because what that spell does, it's super dangerous. It increases the amount of shadow damage that you take from everything, and that includes Thing from Beyond. So if you don't have those interrupted, getting hit with anything or any CC, or even just getting a Thing from Beyond proc can totally ruin your run. That was a little greedy. Sometimes there's a crystal here, so I like to check here. And I really want to orb. So I'm going to orb right before this guy, just because I find this guy really hard. Let's bring him over here. Let's get this started. Oh, blew him up. Nice. So that mob, basically, he does a frontal cone breath, and there's constant swirlies falling on you. That's basically it, and you just need to make sure to avoid the swirlies and step out of the cone breath. If you have Leadenfoot, make sure that you're moving kind of like this, and stopping whenever you have the opportunity, or else you might be too slow to move out of one of those mechanics. But otherwise, you're good. This pack for me is actually the hardest, because both of these mobs are ones with fears, and this is a Void Buffet mob. So, usually I try to CC. I have an AoE stun, so I try to blow him up as much as I can. Woo! So I got Thing from Beyond it or something there, but as you can see, I took a shit ton of damage. Most definitely because I missed interrupting Void Buffet because I was too busy talking. Alright, so none of the other ones are that dangerous. You just focus the Void Walker and you'll be fine. The thing about these is that they can all be really dangerous if you don't focus on interrupting the Void Walker, because the damage multiplication from Void Buffet is actually insane. Okay, so now we're going to go through this house. This Wai Shinlao is great. You can go through those doors. Sometimes you can even run all the way through without dismounting. Fight this guy. Alright, and we're ready to fight the next boss. I know we got one crystal, but I'm not sure if we got the other. I'm gonna get this chest, because I feel like I have time. I'm gonna orb before this next boss, so I don't feel too strapped for time. I like to orb on the mini bosses and just use my cheat death on the last boss. Because cheat death, when you're doing a 5 mask, actually gives you an entire sanity bar worth of sanity. Well, that sucks. Okay. Oh, that was goofy. Alright, I still need to get another crystal. And it must be over here. So we're gonna go over here, even though we normally would not have to kill these mobs. For the sake of the loots. We're a little stuck. Here we go. Oh, that's lucky. Look, a sanity potion. Did he die? I guess so. Where's this other crystal? Did I go the wrong way? I must have gone the wrong way. Anyway. That must have been the wrong way. There's another crystal spot. Oh, it's in here. I know it's by some mobs that you don't normally have to kill. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I know it's by an eye stalk. Here's the spot. Okay, cool. We found it, so we just want to kill this eyeball. Right. There it is. And I still have plenty of sanity, like even with all that time spent running around going to the wrong crystals. I wonder if I can just jump over this here. Awesome. Alright, let's go. Let's go fight Magister Umbric. So if you're a demon hunter, you can do this handy dandy evil sea skip. If not, you'll just have to wait for it. So we just want to run over here and use our orb. And we'll just pull our friend here into the orb. Because he does an unavoidable sanity loss mechanic here that you don't want to interrupt. And if you're in the orb, it just doesn't matter. So now I like to put this on him and jump to him. And this is what you want to interrupt. So that's why you definitely never want to interrupt the entropic missiles, because then you won't have it up for the poly, which is way more dangerous. Alright, so this part sucks with Leaden Foot, as you can see. But you just really want to take your time. Just not really worry about it, because you're not taking any damage and you're not taking any sanity loss really, and it's just not a big deal. And it's just straight up more important. Oops. I always do that. It's just more important to like make sure that you dodge those and don't get stunned than it is to get to him faster. Alright, so now we're back here. And we want to go turn in our crystals. Hopefully we got all 10. And then I'll just be right in here. You talk to this nice guy, Zarhal. Found 10 crystals. Perfect. That's all of them. And then this is actually really important. You need to wait for the chest. And if you don't, you won't get your extra mementos. So wait for him to spawn a chest, open it, and you're good. So now what I like to do is run around and gather all of the potions that aren't the poison potion, of course. Because I find Illyria really difficult as a melee. So I really want all the buffs I can get. And the fight shouldn't take long enough that it like has any negative effects, even though the potions do have negative effects when they fall off. Oops. No potions over here. Oh, is that one? More red. We just got that one. We don't need more red. I guess that's everything. Okay. So let's go. Do we have our buffs? We don't. So I'm going to go start the RP. Wait, is that a potion? It's green. I just got green too. Alright. I'm going to go start the RP. And then I'm going to switch my essence. Because I really like to just try to blow up Illyria as fast as possible before she starts doing a bunch of mechanics. Because she is really hard. And you do kind of have to line of sight her and move her around a lot, which can be really difficult on a melee character. So I'm going to use everything at start, and I'm going to use my Mallet of Thunderous Skins. If you feel like you also want to use a Lust, you can use drums. And let's go. And the most important thing on this fight is really just to dodge things. Ooh, I must be looking at the eyeball. Interrupt that. And then you can line of sight her. Well, she's doing Chains of Servitude, so you want to make sure during chains that you're not accidentally looking at the eye. Throw a glaive at her. Ooh, no, I'm going to be standing in poop. It's alright, I'm still line of sighting. She's going to shoot this at me. She's going to run over here. Gonna interrupt her. Gonna bring her over here. She runs over, and then I keep hitting her. I'm just gonna run over and get some hits in. I'm gonna make sure to line of sight. She'll shoot Darkened Sky. We dodge it. She comes over. We interrupt. I'm gonna wanna line of sight her again, so let's do this. Ooh, a friend. See, we like getting a friend in this area, actually. And if you don't have a lot of mobility, I wouldn't risk that. Ooh, because as you can see, just got hit by it and it did all of my sanity. But that's why we keep Cheat Death. And we didn't even use it. So see, as long as you've kept your Cheat Death, it's honestly really forgiving and you can just take your time. And if I had taken my time at that point and not gotten greedy to try to hit her a few more times, I wouldn't have even gotten hit by the line of sight mechanic. And that's it. And you'll have your 5 masks done, and you just have to do Agrimar. If you're a melee, Agrimar will just be easier than Stormwind, and if you can do this, I know you can handle Agrimar. If you're a ranged, I'm not sure. I've heard that Stormwind is easier for ranged, but you'll just have to decide for yourself and let me know.